Welcome to the show.
Sure. Here is your audio overview.
Sorry, we'll do that.
So imagine you're just scrolling through your social media feed, and nestled right between like a meme and a news update, you see the pinpoint GPS coordinates of a top secret U.S. military command center. And it wasn't leaked by a rogue spy, it was just posted by a civilian tech company.
Yeah, sounds like science fiction, but it's happening.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We're analyzing a highly sensitive intelligence report from April 11th, 2026. Right now, there is a very fragile U.S.-Iran ceasefire being negotiated in Islamabad. And our mission today is to look at how that diplomatic pause is being actively exploited through covert supply chains.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the mutual attrition leading up to this ceasefire is staggering. I mean, the U.S. has already burned through roughly 30% of its THAAD interceptors.
And those are the massive multi-million-dollar missiles designed to shoot down incoming threats.
Exactly. They even lost an irreplaceable E-3G Sentry aircraft. That is essentially a flying command center that had never been shot down in its, nearly 50-year operational history.
What's fascinating here is that while the diplomats are sitting face-to-face talking peace, China is systematically enabling Iran to alter the fundamental balance of power. It is an entirely impartial, calculated, strategic maneuver just playing out right beneath the surface.
Which raises a glaring question for me. If Iran's conventional intelligence networks are degraded, how are they executing such precise strikes against these advanced U.S. bases in the first place? You'd assume it requires state-level espionage.
Well, you would, yeah.
Yeah.
But they are bypassing traditional espionage entirely by leveraging commercial technology. Enter a Chinese company called Miser Vision. They sell this advanced AI software that processes publicly available commercial satellite imagery.
Just public photos anyone can get.
Exactly. And their AI is trained to automatically identify U.S. military assets.
And then they just post the coordinates publicly on social media platforms like Weibo and X. I mean, it's essentially crowdsourcing military targeting on public timelines.
But wait, let me push back on this. How is that even illegal? If Miser Vision is just running an algorithm on public photos that anyone can buy, aren't their hands tied by international law? They're just aggregating open source data.
That exact legal gray area provides Beijing with total plausible deniability. No international laws are technically broken here, but tactically, it changes everything. Normally, a spy satellite takes a photo, a human analyst reviews it, it goes up the chain of command, and days later, a target is approved.
It's a whole process.
Right. But this AI strips out the human, it automatically flags the asset and posts it. The traditional military kill chain goes from weeks of bureaucracy down to a literal push notification. It gives Iranian planners near real-time operational intelligence for the cost of a commercial subscription, rendering billions of dollars of stealth technology just utterly useless. Wow. So, okay, they have the coordinates, but knowing the coordinates doesn't matter if you're out of ammo. The report noted both sides were severely depleted. So how is Iran physically getting the weapons to take these shots during a ceasefire?
God damn it.
They are utilizing sanctioned Iranian ghost fleets. They're moving massive shipments of sodium perchlorate from ports in China directly to Iran.
Sodium perchlorate.
Yeah, and sodium perchlorate isn't a weapon on its own. It's a legally traded industrial chemical used in agriculture and manufacturing. But with one basic industrial process, it gets converted into the solid propellant needed to launch advanced ballistic missiles. Just the 5 ships currently being tracked carry enough of this chemical precursor to produce about 785 new missiles.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because this supply line is continuous, that means Iran can manufacture and replace its offensive missiles vastly faster and cheaper than the United States can affordably manufacture those defensive THAAD interceptors. The fundamental math of the war just flips.
It does. And the threat isn't just in the upper atmosphere with ballistic missiles. The lower altitudes are becoming just as lethal. The intelligence highlights the imminent covert transfer of Chinese MANPADS.
Those are the shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missiles, right?
Yes. They're moving through third-party intermediaries. And these are specifically meant to target low-flying U.S. drones, capitalizing on the fact that the U.S. has already lost 24 Reapers.
That is a massive blind spot for surveillance.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the macro strategy becomes clear. China is intentionally using the Middle East as a resource sink, draining U.S. military hardware and attention away from the Indo-Pacific. And while the U.S. is distracted, Iran is essentially blockading the Strait of Hormuz, demanding a $2 million transit toll for commercial ships to pass safely.
And they aren't asking for dollars. They are demanding that toll be paid exclusively in Chinese yuan, the patrol yuan in action. That doesn't just affect the military. That trickles down to global shipping costs, gas prices, and the cost of goods for you at the grocery store. So what does this all mean?
Impartially speaking, it means the ongoing negotiations in Islamabad are structurally compromised. The diplomatic surface level is being entirely undermined by an underlying proxy war of attrition fueled by these global supply chains.
The fighters haven't stopped to rest, they are just reloading with better gear, which leaves you with one final provocative thought. If commercial AI and public social media platforms can legally disseminate weapons-grade targeting data to anyone with a smartphone, has the very concept of a classified military location become completely obsolete in the modern era?